Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The 11th dharana, कपालांतर मनोन्यस्य तिष्ठन् मीलितलोचनः क्रमेण मनसो दार्ढ्यात् लक्ष्ये लक्ष्यमुत्तमम्. I'll tell you this, but don't struggle with this. Kapala antar manonasya tishtan militalochanaha. Close your eyes and bring your mind inside your forehead. They do it, and then after some time, please don't do it. After some time, they get a guaranteed headache. See, you know what happens? The purpose or the implied meaning should be understood. When we are not able to understand the implied meaning, we become too gross about it. See? Like when they say in Bhagavad Gita, for example, Nasikagram Krutva. So, Drishti, your vision should be on the tip of the nose. Doubt. There are two tips because nose is a straight line. Every straight line has got two ends. You are awfully intelligent. So, Bhagavan is telling Nasikagra at the tip of the nose, which tip? This tip or this tip? So, those who take this tip, which is in between the brows, eyebrows, then they are to now bring your mind there and start seeing light. See. Then what will happen? Kapala antar manonasya tishtamilojana kramena manaso daradhyat. And then by systematic practice, let the mind be ever established in this exercise. See? Now, the same thing happened many years before in England. Once I was going someplace and my friend, his mother told that by the time you reach that place, it will be too late at night. So why don't you stay for the night at home and then go next morning? So he asked me. I said, no problem. So we went and stayed in his mother's house. If you want to see a beautiful, nice house, see a British house. Clean, neat, perfect. No unwanted things. So, nice bed, something, small table, and some books kept, glass of water, and the lamp or the bulb behind. So I took some book, read for a few minutes, closed it. Then I had to sleep. So I want to switch off the lights. And I could not find out where is the switch. First night there. So I had to get up and search where is the light. And in that search, that bright light as if entered my eyes. And then I closed and saw the bulb, the switch and switch off, and again slept. Now here started the meditation. So when I closed my eyes, I was seeing that bright light. When I opened my eyes, I was seeing the daylight, the street light. Again I closed my eyes, I saw the bright light. And that moment, you get the clear understanding that we have two types of experiences. One experience happens when the objects enter our mind through the sense organs. That is the waking experience. The second type of experience happens when there are already impressions on the mind. That is the dream experience. Be attentive. The waker, his waking experiences, suffers or enjoys. The dreamer, dream experiences, suffers or enjoys. But waker never becomes the dreamer. The dreamer never becomes the waker. Then who becomes the waker and the dreamer? It is one principle which is common in both the places. Like the same man, he becomes the father and he also becomes the son. So the man, with the reference of his father, he becomes the son, and with the reference of his son, he becomes the father. So has the father become the son and son become the father, or has the man become both of them and yet he is beyond them? If this is clear, all your struggle in meditation will disappear. Because who is doing meditation? Somebody. And how that somebody is born? After body identification. So who is doing? First somebody, then that somebody is the secondary I, and the one who is identified with the body is waker. Now waker is sitting for meditation. Naturally, he will be lost in the worldly experiences. But if we recognize this, that essentially I am a man, with reference to father I have become a son, essentially I am the same man, with the wife I have become the husband, essentially I am the same man, with the son I have become a father, I have not become three. Exactly the same way. The same reality, identified with the body, has become a waker. Identified with the modifications of the mind, has become a dreamer. Now tell me what you want to do. I am not husband, I am not husband, I am not husband, I am not husband. क्या कहा? नहीं. All these meditations, etc., is such a dumb thing. And you are teaching us meditation. Therefore, when this is said, Kapalantar mano nyasya tishtan militalochana, militalochana doesn't mean with the eyes closed. Means with contemplative understanding. See? When we think something deep, intensely, or we want to remember something, don't we close our eyes? What is that? What is that? What is that? So, Milita Lochana doesn't mean to close your eyes, bring your vision inside here, and then start seeing what? Prarabdha. See? So, Kapalantar Manonasya Tishtan Milita Lochana Kramena Manaso Dardhyat. Then, make it your firm knowledge. What you have heard now, that I, the man, alone has become the son, the husband and the father. So, I am not three, I continue to be one. Then, I have to play three roles depending upon the conditioning. Same way, I had to play 3 roles. When identified with the body as a waker, when identified with the modifications of the mind, a dreamer, when identified with the absence of the two, a deep sleeper. Now what sadhana will you do? Your sadhana will be wherever you are, whenever you are, whatever you are, be 100%. After the things are over, go away. There was an actor. He was expert in acting as Rana Pratap. Extremely wonderful actor. And he did not one, two, but hundreds of performances. And after every drama, he used to get great applause. And after drama is over, he goes back in the green room. And there are boys collecting the material so that tomorrow again they have to use it. Hey Rana Pratap, come quickly, I have to go. Every day the same thing. Today also, that boy said to Rana Pratap, hey, chaddi utar, juta utar, remove your shoes, remove your this, remove your that. Rana Pratap became angry. Give one. Is this the way to talk to Rana Pratap? And he went out. When he went out, he came across a bus standing. Rana Pratap thought the bus has come for him. See? We only go on imagining. So he entered that bus. The moment he entered the bus, conductor, पैसे निकाल रहे राणा प्रताप को पैसे मांग रहा है पड़ा. And the driver saw that, so he winked, don't worry. And the bus went, midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, deep forest. And suddenly the bus stops. Again Rana Pratap, what happened? So driver says, Chittaudgarh. And Rana Pratap gets out of that bus. Bus goes away. And Rana Pratap is moving in Chittaudgarh. That Rana Pratap is you and me. He was playing, he was acting as Rana Pratap. He was not. Exactly the same way. Like you are acting as listeners. Therefore, all the problems of life are dissolved when you take this principle of your life. Don't take things too seriously. Swamiji, my son doesn't want to get married, what should I do? You get married once more. You have already destroyed your life. Let him live happily. So much involvement and in suffering. Therefore, kapalantar manonyasya tishtan mitralochana kramena manaso daradhyat. So, you have to make it firm. Again and again do this abhyas. And what is the abhyas? When the miseries come in your life, don't become miserable. But you have to remember, this is acting only. See? When you come home from outside, miserable, frustrated, your wife will not ask you any question. He is always like that. If you come home happily, cheerfully, किसको मिल के आए? Therefore, you act. Once you learn this technique of acting, you are living 24/7 in meditation. See? This is what Bhagavan Rama did after listening to Yoga Vasishta. Out of 14 years, 13 years he enjoyed in Chitrakoot. No problem. Then remaining 1 year, 6 months he enjoyed the hospitality of all the Rishis saints. Then Gabbar Singh came and took the Sita away. So before Bhagwan Ram came out of Chitrakoot, he told Sita ji, kindly hide your original form in the element fire and get a Xerox copy. This was not known to anybody except Ram ji and Sita ji. Nobody knew. So Ram is going, Sita is following, Lakshman is third one. And that Sita, which was taken by Ravana, was not the original, Xerox copy. And when all that happened, see the acting of Bhagwan Ram. Where my Sita is gone, oh trees, oh plants, oh Jatayu, please say no. And all the monkeys are collected. And I will see that I liberate my wife from there. And she is liberated. Then again he says, now give up that Xerox copy, original Aja. And therefore Agni Pariksha. Agni Pariksha is again that Xerox copy is returned to the element fire and original Sita ji came out. This is the story. From this story what we have to understand, that life is a Rama Leela, Krishna Leela. So if you are miserable as a husband because your wife doesn't listen to you, this happened even to Rama. So he did only acting. Why do you react? You do acting. But Swamiji, no, Ravana is coming and taking the away. Tragedy is this. Therefore, Krabena Manaso Dardyat, make this a firm resolution. See, we have to play all the different roles, play your roles perfectly, but don't get rolled up in any role. See the joy of life. But we become so serious. One boy asked me on Singapore airport, Swamiji, I am your fan. I said, don't tell lies. He said, no. I said, then keep moving. I want to ask you a question. I said, before you ask, I want to ask you a question. What is that? I said, are you married? He said, no, my face is like that. Married people have a unique face. See? Regrets personified. Madhyanadi, Madhya Samstha, Bisa Sutra, Bharupaya, Dhyatantar, Vyomaya, Devya, Taya Deva Prakashate. Now here, the next dharana, 12. Madhyanadi, Madhya Samstha. Now do you understand this? There are 3 nadis. There are so many, 72,000. But main are 3. The Ida, Pingala and the Sushumna. Our breathing is connected. Left is Ida, right is Pingala. And our breathing is never going on simultaneously by both the nostrils. Sometime our Chandra Nadi is active, sometime our Surya Nadi is active. And when, by the practice of pranayam, we are able to bring a perfect balance between the Ida and the Pingala, then that perfectly balanced flow of 2 channels of energy is called as Sushumna Nadi. So Sushumna is not the third one, although it is referred. a balanced flow of energy channels. Now in the middle of that Sushumna Nadi, there is a vacuum. It's like a tube. Now when this kind of description is given, then we start imagining. Okay, there is Sushumna Nadi and like a tube. And in the center of that tube, you have to fix your mind. Then struggle begins. The tube is not seen. What happened? It is only for the tube baby, not for you. See? That is not the meaning. Here the meaning is when these two channels of energy are perfectly balanced, then dhyata antar vyomaya devya, then you are connected with the energy which is functioning through your body as life, as intellect, as mind, as sense organs, as the world. You get connected with that energy. Now see the steps. Objects, external most, periphery of our personality. Sense organs, little closer. Mind, more close. Intellect, more close. Then life, more close. Then energy, this Kundalini Shakti, the individual energy, Kundalini, still close. And the absolute self, the closer than the closest. We are living at the periphery. You must have sat, in the giant wheel. Don't go and sit in the giant wheel in Singapore. It's a huge one, but it moves so slow, you don't know when it has gone up and when it has come down. The very fun is last. You should move a little faster, then there is the fun. Oh. Nothing, you don't know. Aage upar niche. We are living at the periphery of our personality. So start migration. Or start going to such a distance that the circumference breaks away. See, two things. You are the center. Without you, nothing can exist. So this I, only I, is a very concentrated one. Then that poor I gets married. So one circle is made. Center is I, wife, one unit. Then one circle. Me and my wife. Then second year, children have gone. So one more unit is added. So the second circle. The center is the same. Then again one child is born. Third circle. Keep on producing children. And with addition of every unit, you are adding circles. But center is the same. So imagine. If the unit of the radius is infinite, the center with infinite radius, draw the circle. What will be that? It will be a circle without a circumference. That is living in God. Presently, we are having that small little radius. Me and my wife. What do you do? Fight. In Sydney, there was one Gujarati couple. I stay with my host. So he told me, many years before, about 10 years, 12 years before, Swami, they are very nice husband-wife, but constantly fighting. You help them. I said, I can give them sticks. No, please tell them. I said, okay, let's go for a walk. We went for a walk in a garden And there was some flower bed. So I casually said, hey, how beautiful the flowers are. Husband Uvacha, Swamiji, these are dahlia. The moment he said, like, wife said, no, he is not dahlia. And then on the basis of that flower, this is this, no, this is this. So two fools were fighting for the third fool. And the fourth fool was watching. Fulavadi. Then I understand the reason of their constant fight. So I said, hey, I have understood. But my approach is like this. When I talk to somebody, I don't like discussions, arguments, questions. What I tell, you listen, don't listen. Do, don't do. But that topic is complete. No further discussion. Are you ready? He said, yes. I said, produce a child. Immediately. Then I said, I will ask him questions. Don't ask questions. And by God's grace, they were blessed with a child. After that, when I went again, he said, Swamiji, you are great. What happened? Now we don't fight. But how come we don't fight? I said, because you have got a common enemy. Politicians divide the society, terrorists unite the society. So the child is a terrorist in your house. Because he is making you so miserable. We'll fight later. This is meditation. It is not suffering silence. By your face is like that, manufacturer's defect. Hare Rama. So, Madhyanadi Madhya Samstha Visa Sutra Bharupaya. We come to a perfect balance. And perfect balance is what? Dukkeshu anudvignamanaha sukheshu vigadaspraha. What is perfect balance? Yes, thode gam hai, thodi khushiyan ye jeevan hai. What is perfect balance? Life is a time pass. When you take life as a time pass, you are no more concerned about victory or defeat, about gain or loss, or about joy or sorrows. That's it. And where are all these three pairs existing? Victory, defeat, gain, loss, joy and sorrows. Where are they? They are in the mind. And when these complementary opposites do not influence your mind, what happens? Your mind remains without any dents and dots. When we interact with the world and any impressions are formed on the mind, we are samsari. When we live in this world, all interactions go through, but no impression is formed on the mind. And there are only two types of impressions. There is no third impression. The two types of impressions are likes and dislikes. And when these likes and dislikes, they become very deep in our personality, then our whole life is guided by these personal likes and dislikes. Then wisdom is divorced. I don't like it, or I like it. And what is the logic behind it? No logic. No reason. See, friends, therefore this dharana tells us, dhyanantar vyomaya divya taya deva prakashate. So when the mind is no more disturbed, the light of wisdom comes out of you. See? Any word you use, you can create problem for yourself. See? Where it is said that when you sit quiet, you will see the divine light. Now what we understand divine light? It's a light, more powerful, more powerful. Then we start seeing light, light, light. Aata hi nahi. But what is light? See, take a candle, burn it, and keep it in a dark room. It is very bright. So that light, candle light, is illuminating the darkness. Now the same candle light, keep it in the bright sun, 12 o'clock. That overpowering light of the sun will make the candlelight insignificant. Now, the sunlight is, or the sun is seen by whom? By the eyes. So the light of the eyes is more powerful than the light of the sun. Then the light of the eyes is illuminated by the light of the mind. The light of the mind is illuminated by the light of the intellect, wisdom. The light of the wisdom or the intellect is illuminated by the principle of life. And the principle of life is illuminated by this divine energy called as Kundalini Shakti at the individual level. And this is illuminated by the supreme reality, here Bhairava or Brahman or Bhagwan or Paramatma. If we understand the meaning of light in this light, then your life will become light. But then the light comes out. When that Kama Devata came before Lord Shiva, Shiva got angry, he switched on his third light. And the light came. Light went back. See, that is not the meaning. Therefore, when we study the scriptures, we must not come under the influence of our worldly understanding of things. See? You must have seen they show the picture. Somebody is giving the blessing. Then from the hand, one light comes. पीछे क्या है? That is not light. See, the illuminator. Now the next dharana, Kararuddha Durgastreda Bhrubheda Dvararodhanad Drushte Bindau Kramaline Tanmadhe Paramastiti. Now here this is another complicated dharana. See, if you are pumping water on the top of your building and the pipe is holy because you are a holy person, so many holes. Whatever power you put, whatever pressure you put on the water, most of it will be leaked out because it is holy. And hardly something will go on the top. If this example is clear, in the same manner, all our energy is leaked out through 5 sense organs and 5 organs of action. These are the holes. And therefore, that energy, instead of going and merging to the source, it gets leaked away. So what has to be done? Plug all these holes. When you plug all these holes, without any difficulty, the water will reach on the top. So, in yoga, this is one of the techniques given. Don't do it, simply watch. When I start, you start doing. Don't do that. Understand first. Put your thumbs in your ear, then the index fingers on the eyes, not on the chashma, the eyes. Then this middle finger on the nose, and this Anamika and Kanishta close the lips. I can't talk them. So all the holes are closed. That means you are now cut out from the whole world. So when you are no more running in the worldly themes, all your energy is saved. Then such a mind can be converted into consciousness because now the leakage is gone. This is the meaning. But instead of that, we get lost only. Swamiji, which finger to put where? See. Similarly, look at the tip of the nose. Honey, please sit down, I have to do meditation. Why? Tip of the nose. Arey Baba, your tip, oh, my own. See. Therefore, Kara Ruddha Drugastrena Bhrubhedad Dvara Rodhanad Drushte Bindu Kramal Line. Now, when all these things are closed, then there will be a pressure develop inside. And that pressure, you can start imagining anything. Because you have heard Bindu Bindu, so then you start, oh, I am seeing the light. But I told you the meaning of light. So, you start seeing the light and slowly the light starts expanding. And then you realize the truth. What? Pata nahi. Don't know. Therefore, what we have to understand is, unless we have full control over our sense organs and organs of action, our energy will not be conserved. And without sufficient power, energy, you cannot control the mind. See, friends, when an operation is done, the person is controlled on the operation table, is it not? In one school, they took me to show they had some exhibition going on. So they took me to this zoological department. And the girls were showing. We do here operation of the frogs. So she had fixed it on that thing. And now I start. This is the median line, and from here we start cutting. I said, hey, have you fixed it properly? Oh, yes, yes, we have done it. And she touched that frog with the scissor, and frog got tickling so strongly, he jumped out and went away. Swamiji, what happened? I said, I will do the same thing if you do it to me. Now, if you want to control or do operation on the frog, it must be fully secured. If you want to do operation on a person, he must be fully secured. If you want to operate on your mind, it must be fully secured. Our mind is so useless. Suppose somebody comes late. Is it necessary to know who has come? By default settings. So somebody gets up and walks in. It's very important. Just these are subtle points. And because of that, although we listen, although we are sincere, yet we continue to be confused only because these basics are not clear. Therefore, here, Kara रुद्ध दृगस्त्रेण भ्रूभेदात् द्वाररोधनात् दृष्टे बिंदु क्रमालीने तन्मध्ये परमास्थितिः. So now I am not translating and telling you exactly what it is. Bhruveda, then in between the two things, then there you see the light will come. I am not telling you that translation. Otherwise you are already suffering, you will get more headache. Since I am doing meditation, I get too much of headache. What is happening? Realization में ऐसे ही होता है. Then what to do? Relax. So, drushti bindu kramaline. Then the bindu will come there. And the bindu is, don't do it. If you press your eyeball, you get the sparks of light. So when you are putting all your fingers in the close it, and with this tarjani, you press your eyeball, you will be seeing the light. And then focus on that light. So what is exactly being done is, take any one object and remain focused on that for a long period of time. So the simplest way is, what are the objects? Two, one of them is silence and second is formlessness. So this is with reference to formlessness. Sit in your room, switch off all the lights, and you cannot see because there is darkness. But don't close your eyes. Keep the eyes open. Because eyes are open, seeing is happening. Because there is nothing that can be seen, therefore a seer is not born. So what is that experience? Seeing without the seer and the seen. Experience without experiencer and experienced. Joy without enjoyer and enjoyed. This triputi, these three factors in any experience, they happen only in the mind. But when we transcend the mind, then there is experience, but experiencer and experienced, they disappear. Same thing when you listen to silence. Or when you stop talking to yourself. Without an iota of efforts, your asana becomes firm, steady, relaxed. Your breathing becomes extremely slow and shallow because the mind is focused on such an object which doesn't have beginning and end, like the silence or the darkness. At this moment, our experience is only that of being, not becoming a meditator, not struggling with any experience. So, this experience of mere presence is what is mentioned in this dharana. Bindu shikante hridaye layante dhayato laya. No. It is drushte bindu kramalline tanmadde paramastiti. So when the mind is focused only on one, the mind dissolves. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, Prana bandhanat liyate manaha eka chintanat nashametyada. When we are practicing pranayam, that time the mind is quietened as long as the curfew of pranayam is operating. Prana bandhanat liyate manaha. But the moment this curfew of pranayam is lifted, again the mind comes out with vengeance. Like during the curfew time, all the people are inside the house under force. And when the curfew is lifted for 2 hours, all the people come out with such a terrible speed, exactly the same way. When the mind is under the influence of the pranayam, it will remain quiet. The moment pranayam is lifted, again starts. Then, first by the process of pranayam, quieten your mind relatively, but don't end up in thoughtlessness. Then, engage that relatively quiet mind into ekachintanat. Apply it to hold on to that one which is without a second. Eka chintanan. So what is the eka? Eka is the only infinite. Because the relative ek, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are many. And in this manner, we discard the objects, discard the sense organs, discard the mind, discard the intellect, discard the life, discard the energy, and we merge in the absolute. Once this happens in our life, any time, then we will understand the meaning of 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita when Bhagavan says, Etam vibhutim yogam cha mamayo vetti tattvataha saha avikampena yogena yujjate natra samshayaha. He who has thus discovered his divine self and also is able to recognize the divinity in and through the total creation, avikampa yoga. Now he has no doubt whatsoever because there is no otherness. Doubts are only about others. Avikampa yoga. You are abiding in that experience eternally. Stitva syam antakalepi brahma nirvanam richati. Even at the time of departure from the body, also this happens, one attains fulfillment in life. Now next one is the 14th dharana. Dhamanta kshoba sambhuta sukshmagni tilakakritim bindum shikhante hridaye layante dhyayato laya. One should start Dhamanta on the Sahasra. There one should start imagining that there is a light, Bindu. Then It is tilaka krutim. Tilaka krutim is like the dot which the ladies put on their forehead. Like many people ask me question, I also ask them. So one lady I asked, I said, Amma, I see you all married ladies, you put some kind of dot here, but they are not of the same shape and size. What does it mean? She says, Swamiji, the size of the dot is directly proportionate to the love for the husband. Now beware, if your wife is not putting the dot, get a message. Some of them put so small, little love, that much. So, tilaka kritim. So here, Shobha Sambhuta. It is created by Shobha Dhamanta. So when your sahasrara is stuck or agitated, you see the light. And then Bindum Shikhante Hridaye Layante Dhyayato Layaha. And then this light, Dhama, so slowly it starts dissolving and it merges in the absolute light. See this, in this what is happening? We are only engaging the mind on some one theme. And the theme is here the light. So instead of that, imagining and all that, this technique I told you, look at the bulb which is very bright for a few seconds, then close your eyes. You are seeing that light. Then follow that light. After some time, that impressions on the mind about that one bright light, slowly it will start dissolving. And when that impressions on the mind start dissolving and dissolves completely, you come to recognize you are the same. So, presence of the impressions on the mind or their absence doesn't make any addition or subtraction for you, because you are infinite. You are not finite. So, Bindu Shikhante Hridaye Layante Dhyayato Layaha. And in this manner, when the light disappears in the heart, one merges in the Absolute. Anahate patra karne abhagna shabde saridrute shabda brahmane nishnataha param brahmadigacchati. The 15th dharana. Anahate patra karne. Patra karne means he who has the ability. Patra means patrata, qualification. Patra karne. He who has trained his ability to listen to the anahata dhvani. Anahata means ahata means striking. This sound is ahata. The second sound is anahata. Nobody is striking anywhere and yet the sound is heard. Therefore it is called as anahat chakra. So patra karne. Anahate patra karne. Abhagna shabde saridrute. Abhagna shabde means a continuous sound, like the flow of the river. Then what happens? Shabda brahmane nishnataha. He who is able to catch this, see, then he will be able to merge in the Brahma. Now be attentive. Two meanings will take. One, you must in most of the houses it is seen. They have got one that some kind of metal pot and there is one rod, wooden rod. And then they move. Or go to the temple, the bell, follow that sound as it goes towards its death. Turn. Then, during that period, be aware. Sound was heard by the ears. And the sound started dying away. Means what? The mind started withdrawing from the ears, and ultimately, when the sound fully disappears, the mind is completely withdrawn from the hearing or from the ears. And thus, we go back to the consciousness through the mind. Because mind is nothing but consciousness. If it is free from objectivity. Now, how the objects enter the mind? They enter through the sense organs. So, when we ring the bell, immediately the sound is heard. By whom? By the mind, not by the ears. Ears are only the instrument. So slowly, that mind which was functioning through the ears heard the sound, and as the sound starts dying away, there is no reason for the mind to express through the ears. And the mind is freed from the conditioning of the sense organs. But mind continues to be. Now what is that mind? That mind is free from objectivity because the sound is dropped. This objectless awareness is the ultimate truth. Now just observe yourself. How effortless you are with yourself. Whether you are sitting on the floor or in the chair, whether your eyes are open or closed, all these externalities have no value. Your body is firm, steady. Breathing is extremely slow, shallow. Although you are hearing everything, yet you are undisturbed. This experience is natural to us. We don't have to do anything. And when we abide in this, naturally, the net result is the struggle in our life disappears. And as a result of this, the best in us surfaces. So you are not struggling. With such a mind, you open the scriptures and study, in one go you can catch the meaning. And when the mind is disturbed, frustrated, I don't know why they are written in Sanskrit. Because the mind is totally disturbed. So, anahate patrakarne avagna shabde saridrute shabda brahmane nishnataha. Nishnata, expert. I'll put it the other way around. Not expert, efficient. What is the difference between the expert and the efficient? Expert is limited in a very small field. When man went to the ENT specialist and he said, Dr. Saab, I got ear problem. Which ear left? I'm sorry, I'm a right ear specialist. Efficient is efficient in every field. Shabda Brahmani Nishnata. He who is able to get the message from the word, going beyond the limitations of the word. He is called as Shabda Brahmani Nishnata Param Brahmadi Gacchati. He alone recognizes what is indicated by those words. Otherwise we get lost only Gatakash, Matakash, Patakash. And then Swamiji, that this Megakash, see, as a couple, Mega is the wife and Akash is the son, husband. Oh, Megakash, yes. Because the mind is not qualified, not at peace, and with that disturbed mind we want to understand the scriptures. Therefore, Shabda Brahmane Nishnataha Param Brahmadi Gacchati. Then in the next verse, the Dharana 16, I think that we will take tomorrow. Before you start sleeping, I should have the wisdom to close. That is the only time I feel miserable in my life. When you can sleep but I cannot. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.